Hey, what's up guys? This is Mike from Tiburon, Pacific Northwest. This is actually my first GoPro video, or how-to video, if you will. So hopefully it's helpful for you guys. I got a few questions from some people about board storage and board racks. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see. This is the garage at Tiburon, Pacific Northwest. It is garage cleaning day, which is what prompted this project because I wanted something to do. But people were asking me how I do board storage, and I wanted to show you guys a really cheap, easy, and quick way to set up some board storage in your garage if you're running out of space without having to, break your budget or break your back trying to make it. So we're going to be building a board rack today. We're going to be using PVC pipe and then some of this coating, and I'll actually show you one of the other board racks that I built using paracord PVC pipe and the same coating that's right over there. I'll give you an up close look here in just a second. So as promised, here's the other surfboard rack that I built. Now this rack, just to give you guys an idea, cost me about $22 to build. And as you can see, as we get a little bit closer in, this rack is made of PVC pipe in the center, paracord, and just this sleeving here that you can find at any kind of, Home Depot, Lowe's around you. This is a really quick project. All you need is a power drill with a bit and a jigsaw or any kind of saw to cut the pipe with right here like this. I can even smooth out the edges. I've had this up for about 2 years now and it holds all my surfboards just fine. Now, you'll see later on that I'm using a joint for the rack that's sitting on the ground. You don't need to do that for this. You can drill straight through. I would caution against looping the paracord through here and having it there because you'll see it kind of start to fray the pipe. Likewise, if you tie a knot here, it can become, kind of tattered over time. So I chose this method because I've tied a knot down here on the bottom. So you can kind of see that holds it in place. Anytime you need to move it, you can move it. If you need to take chunks out, you can just cut it and take it out. You can add some to it too. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And we're gonna move on to the next step of making our standing board rack that's gonna go right here. Tape measure, Sharpie, and then your equipment. What you want to do is you want to measure your board. So you want to figure out if you've got some really tall fins that are going to sit on the outside. It's not really a big concern for the spacing on the board rack, but you want to figure out how long your boards are so you're not, getting one that's barely being held up by the tips, right? So you want it in the center, and you can measure your boards that way to figure out how long the boards you're going to put on this rack is. Likewise, I would measure the width. So for this rack, I'm going to go about 2 feet and 3 inches because that'll give every single board I'm putting on it some play on the sides. And I'm going to go 3 feet and 6 inches in the center because I'm going to be putting crossbars in on the top. So that's how we're going to do this rack the first time because it's going to be fitting twin tips and surfboards on it. So I'm going to be putting twin tips like this one and surfboards like that one on it. And again, it's going to be a drying rack. So I want it to have some space. I might throw some stuff on top for a wetsuit. It depends because like I said, I randomly bought this. So we're just going to get started and see how it goes. So this is what we've got. This is what we're going to work with. I'm going to start throwing this together, and then we're going to talk about how this can be modular, how it can grow and or shrink over time. All right, so now we've got the base of our surfboard / drying rack. As you can see, really simple. I always put it together and then I measure the sleeve, right? So I don't just do the sleeve measurement on the other part, but I'll measure the sleeve toward the exposed portion here. What you can do is you can have it come all the way up against this elbow here if you want to, if you're worried about the rails of your board. All you have to do, cut a little section, put it on here just like this. You don't have to go crazy when you're cutting this stuff. It's honestly just a box cutter, and then mark it up with a Sharpie and you can throw it right in there and you can just cut it just like this. There we have our base, and what this is going to do is this is going to serve for our model all the way up. So you've got it pretty sturdy, right? Like it's flexible, but this is going to hold just about anything. To prove that, I'm going to put my Pride and Joy, my Nash Monarch on it. So I'll have this. I just set that right there, and we can see that it'll sit right there. It'll be comfortable. I might redo this a little bit because I'm now realizing it needs to be shorter. I've got fins sitting here, and the nice thing about that is if you haven't glued it, all I have to do is take these out, cut a little bit of length off, and I'm good to go. So bringing this more to where it's supposed to be, again, this is modular. So you cut these pieces and you can make adjustments like I just did. I made it a little bit skinnier to to allow my Monarch some space to breathe. And then you can just throw this on here. And if you need to make it wider, you can make it wider. If you need to make these things taller or shorter or whatever you want to change the configuration, this whole thing will be really easy for you to use, to change, to fit into different spaces. And that's the idea, right? All right, guys, so there's the rack. This is what it looks like as it starts coming together. So as you can see, I can keep going up if I want to. I can thin that out. I've got 3 of our surfboards on there right now. But you know, I could have put my twin tip back on there, whatever I want to do. It's very sturdy for the most part. So, I mean, you can put cross joints in it if you want to. It drives up the price a little bit, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. You can also put little hang offs on the side for drying. I might actually put a little section on here for wetsuits, depending on how I feel. I've got a bunch of material left, so I might just keep going, but I wanted to give you guys a quick tutorial on how to throw together fairly inexpensive, fairly easy to build board rack for your garage, your house, or wherever you may need it. On behalf of Tiburon, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe. Again, this is my first video, so I don't know how many I'm going to be able to crank out. I also run a website that I'm going to put in the description for this video. It gives site reports for the Pacific Northwest, places that I've kited personally, surfing. I think there's a couple other forums that handle that, so those of you who want to surf up here, feel free to drop a comment, what have you. But it gives kite reports, and then there's also an informative kind of how to find a new spot on your own. I'm a big advocate of going out there, sharing the stoke, spreading the stoke, going for an adventure, and there are tons of places up here in our beautiful neck of the woods that people haven't explored yet. So if you want to share info, if there's any other projects you guys want to see, please let me know. If you want to support us because you like the hat or the shirt, I have them on Amazon. I'll put a link to those in the video description as well. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great day, is getting hyped for the season, and take care.